Well, hello, and welcome to ACTRA Spotlight, ACTRA Toronto's star-studded Canadian celebrity podcast. I'm David Gale. Jean Yoon is busy rehearsing more Kim's Convenience episodes for her adoring fans. Well, our guest today is an underachiever, I would say. 140 acting credits on IMDb. 140, I counted each one individually. ACTRA Award of Excellence winner in 2007, Canada's Walk of Fame in 2015, and the Earle Award for just all-around amazingness and acting at the Canadian Screen Awards in 2016. She can currently be seen as Nora Drake on Frankie Drake Mysteries and soon to be seen on the Netflix series October Faction. And nominated for a Canadian Screen Award for outstanding work in the detail, we are sitting with Wendy Crewson.
Oh,
hello,
David
darling.
Gale. Hello, darling. Thank you for that lovely sort of, I thought, that sounds nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're a woman of accomplishment. Well, would you call yourself that?
No, of course not. No, I beat myself up regularly with it. Oh, what are you doing? You haven't worked in 3 months. You're just lying around here. It's all over.
It's all lying around in 3 months.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, there's some of our members who haven't worked in 3 years.
Oh,
but,
dear.
We have to change that
hard.
with infrastructure.
We do have to change that with infrastructure.
Yeah. So, we're trying to, all those accomplishments just didn't happen overnight. You came from someplace. So what made you want to be an actor? What was the first thing that made you want to be an actor? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I had a little, I would have said the one and only epiphany I ever had in my life when I was about, 4 years old, and I was in a church basement, and my mother was helping with a potluck dinner, and there was a little sort of stage area and auditorium that was completely empty, and in the afternoon light, I walked up the little stairs and stood on the stage and sang myself a little song and thought, oh gosh, I think I want to do this. I want to be on a stage. And honestly, that's where it started.
Amazing. Now, had you seen somebody do that? I mean, where did that come from?
I have no idea because there was zero stage love in our family.
Right.
My
No
dad
actors.
sold farm equipment. My mother was a housewife. They were very practical. It was a very practical family. And practical families don't usually have a lot of performers in them. Mm-hmm. So,
So you just was inside you and it came out.
It was inside me and it came out, and I don't know what the devil it was, but it was crazy. And
where was this?
This was when we lived in Oakville, Ontario.
Oakville.
Yes.
Because you did live in Winnipeg for a little while
Well,
too?
I lived in Winnipeg and Chatham and Montreal and.
Is that practical to be moving around so much?
Yeah, no, but Dad sold farm equipment.
Right.
So our districts would change every year about April. Oh. And every year in April, we would move. So I had to go to a new school every year in April and be the new student,
My God.
And it was but at the time, I didn't know that nobody did that. I thought everybody, I thought that was that's what we did.
And were you an accepted new girl or were you a shunned new girl?
Well, I think they accept you more when you're little, and then as you get older, it gets harder. Like by grade 11, it was like, ugh, I don't want to do this anymore. I had just established myself, and they'd already cast the musical by the time I got to the school in Montreal, and that really killed me. They cast it at the end of the year before, and I'd missed the auditions, and I thought, what will I do without doing the play?
What did you do?
I did makeup for it.
Later on.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were doing the school musicals, you were doing plays at school, and did you go to theater school?
Yes, I did. I went to Webber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art after university. I went to Queen's University and then Webber Douglas for a postgraduate year.
And how was that? How did you find that school?
That was really hard. Webber Douglas was hard. It was lots of fun, but very hard. They were, I was a North American, and of course those Brits are all so good, and the teachers were all British, and they didn't really, the North Americans were like the paying cousins. They looked down their nose a little bit at you, but thank goodness they all pushed really hard then for, you had to really try to get their approval.
Are there things you think that you use still in your career from what you learned in university? So you learned how to speak in gibberish.
In gibberish.
That's the thing that you would take
is
away
the thing.
from university.
And though it was just the drinking.
That's That's perfect. Well,
Speech,
I
you
think
know, all the
most people
speech stuff.
do gibberish much better once they've been drinking.
Oh, it's the best when you was drinking.
Oh, my goodness. So what was do you remember your first professional gig?
Yeah, I did. I did a thing called Family Court in Montreal when I was about 15, and Andy Barry, who was the radio host, played the judge, and you had to go in and audition, and then it was just improvised. They just gave you your storyline, and I was some, young drug-addicted girl, and I got to go in and appear before the judge and do that. And as a matter of fact, last year was I was cleaning out all my stuff and throwing away. I came across my first 2 ACTRA permits.
Oh, come on.
Which were to do that job.
That's amazing.
Isn't that, yeah.
And how soon after that did you get your ACTRA card, do you think?
That is a blur.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was when I was doing home fires, so I'd been away and to school and come back, and then, yeah.
So home fires, you did home fires, War Brides, and Littlest Hobo. These are all iconic shows from the day.
Right.
And do you remember them? Do you remember what you did on them?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember them very well. I was home fires. I was a lead. I was a series regular, and I won the ACTRA Award it was when we did the ACTRA Awards. Long ago, and they were the Nellies. And I just have to say, they were a little statue that William McElcrin did, and he does all the ones. You see them, like in Yorkville, that
the
gallery,
Tubby Man.
The Tubby Man,
yeah,
that's Bill McElcrin, and he did Nellie, and she was up on one toe, sort of naked, a big girl, sort of her arms back and her hair flowing, so happy. I mean, it's such a beautiful sculpture, and of course, and it's the only award that I ever keep out because it's just a little piece of art.
Now I'm going to date myself a little bit now because I believe that they called it the Barbara Hamilton for a little while too because it kind of looked like Barbara Hamilton.
Right. That's right. They did.
Oh my goodness! Did you work with her, with Barbara Hamilton?
I didn't. But I will say, Bill McElcrin, I met when I went to the awards. He came because he was invited because he'd done the statuettes, and he did a statuette of me.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I was there in a vintage dress, and he said, I'd like to do a sculpt of you. So.
And who has that?
Not me.
It's not out in
me.
Yorkville somewhere?
No, it's not, unfortunately. No.
Beside the fat man?
Yeah.
Wow. So who were you, you were working with all these people right away because you're doing a series right out the gate. Who were your influences, do you think?
My Canadian influences?
Yeah, the ones you were working with.
The ones I was working with? Kim Yaroshevskaya was from Montreal, and she was a serious actress.
Yeah.
And she was I always admired her. She worked... She really went into the work, So there was a real juxtaposition because Jerry Parks was the father, and he didn't do that at all.
No.
He was of the school of just learn your lines and hit your marks and everything. So it was really interesting to sort of see both of them working, but they were very good, and it's true you meet a lot of people. And I'm going to say, I think that became then the beginning of my involvement really with the community and in terms of my sort of awareness politically about what was going on, because you see so many actors coming through all the time and you get to hear everybody's story about what they're doing and, how tough it is out there and what they're auditioning for. And it really was the beginning of my being aware and caring about this community.
Yeah. Because you could see people who were more advanced than you in age who were still complaining about work or situations with the Americans.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it gave you this new awareness, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but the first time we met was in the early 80s, where you had come to a theater sports class, an improv class with Norma Delagnese.
Oh, was it?
at Harborfront.
At Harborfront.
And I was teaching the class.
Oh, my God, David.
I was the instructor.
I'd forgotten this.
And you had come, and I'm thinking, who is this incredibly beautiful woman who's coming to take my class with Norma?
What?
And it was. I think you just came the once, not because I was a bad instructor, but because
No.
you had a career
Already.
already.
I was out partying. Or
Yeah.
something.
It was.
Oh,
I still remember that.
my gosh.
And then I would watch you do your career unfold, on television before my eyes, which was, she's been in my class.
Oh my gosh, David, that's amazing.
Yes, I thought I would bring up the theater
fun.
sports moment there.
Okay, good. I can't believe in all the time that I've known you, you've never told me that
I
story.
might have told it to you, but we might have, had a drink in our hands.
Maybe. I don't recall you telling me
A
that.
lot of people came out of that. Mike Myers came out of that. The Kids in the Hall came out of that. Linda Cash came out of that. A lot of really, Neil Crone. Theater sports was something back then. So you have been either had multiple episodes or series regulars on, and this is going to be a little bit much.
Boring?
No, not boring.
Oh.
Night Heat, Tanner 88. Do you remember Tanner 88?
Sure I do.
Directed by Robert Altman, written by Gary Trudeau.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah. Oh, well, I was married to the lead, so I do remember that one.
Were you married to him before you started?
Was I married to Mike when we did it? No, I wasn't married to him. As a matter of fact, we were just dating. And
Did you meet on the set?
we met. No, we did a series called Hard Copy before Tanner. About we were crime reporters or something. I don't know. And so we met on that set, and then he was friends with Altman, and Altman said, I got this great part, you're going to run for president. And Mike was like, oh, okay. So off we go, and we're in New Hampshire. We start with the primaries in New Hampshire, and we're in bed. It's late at night. It's like 10:30. We get a call from Altman. He goes, Murphy, he said, get your suit on. I said, why? He said, all the candidates are down here. I want you down here. So he got Mike in his suit. He got the cameraman down there. He shoved Mike out into this crowd in the lobby with all the candidates who were running for president of the United States, and said, and Mike said, well, what do I say? He says, well, just go up and say, hey, I'm Jack Tanner. I'm running for president. So Mike's going around shaking hands, and Bob Dole looks at him and goes, president of what? But it was the most incredible experience.
And they used the footage?
Oh, yeah. We used all that footage.
That's
we were
amazing.
like the darlings of that campaign. It was a real education in American politics.
Right. And they just allowed it without any, you didn't have to go through, letters and requests.
No, we did nothing. People requested. So on the night of the primary nominations, the Democratic nomination, when Mike Dukakis, way back then, was going to be announced as the Democratic candidate, Kitty Dukakis, his wife, called us and asked if she could be on the show so I did a scene with Kitty Dukakis that day. I know, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Okay, I'm going to throw something else at you. Since it's back on the air, you did Street Legal the first time, correct?
Yeah,
a few episodes.
I did do a couple of episodes of Street Legal.
Yeah, 24.
I did 24.
Talk about doing 24.
I did 24.
With Kiefer Sutherland, another Canadian.
With Kiefer. Now, I had no scenes with Kiefer.
Mm-hmm.
My scenes were with, and I have no brain left, so whoever was playing the president.
Yeah.
Another president.
Exactly.
I was the girlfriend of the president.
Saving Hope.
Saving Hope. That was so lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful
How long did
Erica
you did it?
Durance
You did it
starring
for a
in
number
that.
of years.
Yeah, five.
5 years.
5.
And who did you play on that?
I played Dr. Dana Kinney,
Yeah.
and she was sort of, the kind of boss girl for a while on that, and they, here's what I really remember is on the 5th season I'm reading through, and I've had breast cancer during the show, and they bring back the breast cancer, and I refuse the treatment and everything. I went, oh my God, they are going to kill me off on this show. I was like, what? I walk into Alana Frank's office. I'm like, are you killing Dana? And she said, well, we need something for mid-season, a cliffhanger. And we thought, somebody's got to go. And I will not, Dana. You can't kill me. I said, Alana Frank, you are a woman my age. Who else puts women our age on television? You don't kill me. This hospital can cure, heart defects in 10 minutes. Of course it can cure my cancer. I said, kill somebody else. So She kept me alive.
But on that show, you can come back as a ghost. You can be in a
could.
coma and be still on the show.
It seemed like only Michael Shanks got to come back as the ghost all the time. Yeah.
How many doctors have you played?
Yeah, a lot. A lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers, a lot of yeah.
Well, I want to play a little game with you. If you mind,
dear.
With a little game.
Sure.
That's okay. We're going to do name that show. I'm going to name the doctor.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to try and name the show that you were the doctor on. Now, this is not just a one-time, one-episode thing. This is like a series or a movie.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
Or it could be one episode. I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right. We'll start with the beginning. Dr. Leslie Abbott.
Dr. Leslie. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I know it. Leslie Abbott, the doctor?
Yes, the doctor.
Oh,
very
bam.
good one. Good
that was
one.
the only other doctor I could think that I played.
Well, wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, where did you play Dr. Fishman? The big American movie.
Oh, Dr. Fishman.
I'll give you a clue.
Yeah, please.
It was a romance, and Rachel McAdams was in it.
Oh, The Vow.
The Vow is right. Very
That's
good.
right.
Very good.
Lovely Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a good girl she is.
And did you have scenes with Channing as well? Channing Tatum?
I did. I did indeed.
Okay.
So charming. Oh,
all right.
My God.
On which show did you play Dr. Jill Clavens?
Oh, these names are so familiar.
Also a really big show.
A big show.
Yeah.
A big show.
With Bruce Willis.
Oh, what did I do with Bruce Willis? Because it was
Not
only
Life?
It was only a day, I think.
Oh, it was only a day.
I can't. Was it Death Wish?
It was Death Wish. Good. You're doing very well. Very well. Okay. We've already talked about Dana Kinney.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on what show did you play? This is my favorite.
Oh my God.
Dr. Ninky Bregman.
Ninky Bregman.
Ninky Bregman.
Did I do it with an accent?
I don't know.
Ninky
I didn't see
Bregman.
it.
I don't know what show that was.
Miguel Ferrer was the star?
Yeah, no.
No.
Big Bill.
Where's Marlowe? Do you remember this at all?
Oh my God, where's Marlowe? Yeah, where is it indeed?
Where
I
is
don't know.
It's not in our memory.
It's not. It's gone now.
Okay, the last one's easy.
Okay.
Dr. Anne Picard.
Oh, was that the 24?
That was 24.
Oh, okay.
You did very well.
Thank
you did really well. 'Cause
you.
some of these stuff was from the 80s, right? So
Yeah. No, that's a long time ago.
How long were you in the States?
Yeah, I don't know that either.
It was like
Was
10
it
years?
No, I think it maybe was longer. I think it was maybe 15 or... Because I would come back and forth all the
Right.
time, David. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
Yeah, but the children were both born down there, and I met Mike. I know. I think like from '88. I think I moved down there. I think I got the show in '88.
You have worked with some tremendous... Okay, you know what? Before I go, you did the movie Jack, the Jack Layton story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
right. Yeah.
You did the movie Jack.
Yes.
What was that like, having known Jack?
That was
What was that like?
Completely amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the whole thing was it felt really important.
Mm-hmm.
It felt really important to tell his story, and Rick Roberts did such an
Yeah.
amazing
He was tremendous.
job.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was just great.
But what about acting with people who you knew the real people that they were playing?
Oh, that was hilarious. I know. And you're sort of like, oh, right, we're just going to pretend here that, No, that was a great movie. And we did that, I think, in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
He was great.
fantastic.
He got an ACTRA award for that.
He did. He did. He was so good.
So if I were to say a American movie star, would you be able to just do a one-word answer about them?
You were sure.
Okay. Tom Hanks.
Fantastic.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Scary.
Ooh. James Garner.
Lovely.
Martin Sheen.
Nice.
Yeah. Lou Gossett Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford.
Oh. Harrison. Spectacular.
Al Waxman.
Oh, What a darling.
Sophia Loren.
My idol.
Wow. So talk about that. We'll stop for a second. Talk about meeting her and working with her.
When I met her, Sophia was in her 70s, and Eduardo Ponti, her son, was directing his first movie, and this was her 99th movie. And she chose who was going to play her daughter, and she chose me.
Really?
And I was what? I don't think did she see the right picture? What picture did she see that she thought, But it was so magnificent. And she enters the room, and she is so stunningly beautiful that everyone falls quiet. They just, but she is like Mama Sophia. Everything is gracious and hospitable and gentle and kind, and she was really, but she was a powerhouse, just a powerhouse. And I loved how she turned down Cary Grant to marry Ponti, her producer husband, and live in Italy because that's where she wanted to be. She didn't want to be in Hollywood.
Right.
And I really admire her.
Which is what you did.
Which is what I did.
Yeah. So I know we sort of went over Harrison Ford quickly. Do you have something you want to say about Harrison Ford?
He was just spectacular. I mean, talk about a guy that is, completely humble and fun to be on set with, love singing songs from musicals and hanging out and, and always just sits in the makeup trailer with you next to you, getting his makeup on. I mean, can take a joke, so you can tease him about stuff. You don't have to worry that his feelings are going to get hurt or, I was crazy about him. He was a good guy.
And that was a big film.
That was a big
film. It did
film.
very well.
That was a big film.
Was it different after that film for you on the street?
You would think, wouldn't you? You would have hoped. No, exactly the same. Just the same. Walk down the street. No one knows.
William Hurt.
William Hurt was a little more complicated.
Yeah.
A little more complicated than that, but it really, he really forced me to be on my game. So I really had to,
Step up,
because he had no patience for not stepping up.
Robert Redford.
I didn't really spend a lot of time with Robert Redford, and as a matter of fact, I only met him, I believe, just in passing, because it was Helen Mirren, I think, that I did the scene with.
Okay, Helen Mirren.
Yeah, there's another one you want to step up to your game.
Really?
Yeah, but she was lovely, of course.
Yeah. And I guess you had been trained in that, right, with the British teachers?
I had been, but only for a year, David. So I didn't really have it down pat.
No.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, when you were meeting the Queen.
Yeah.
Ed Harris.
Lovely and a good actor and completely into what he's doing.
That's Kodachrome. That's on right now.
Kodachrome,
yeah. Can you see it on Netflix?
Yeah.
So we've been talking about a bunch of American stars. What about the Canadian stars? What Canadian stars can you say? You've worked with Gordon Pinsent?
Yes, Gordon. I adore Gordon. Well, that whole crew on that. So Kristen Thompson, who is brilliant. Sarah Polley, she directed that, but it just.
This is away from her.
Wow, away from her. She was just spectacular to work with. I mean, I adore Sarah, and I've done a lot of, ACTRAvism with Sarah. So we've been to Parliament Hill together. Awesome. I've watched her take on the Senate.
Wow.
I mean, she really is formidable.
Well, I guess we have to talk about that, right? ACTRAvism, you brought it up. You've played many activists over the years. You've played Sue Rodriguez, Jane Doe, Louise Arbour. What draws you to these type of roles, do you think?
I don't think there's anything more interesting than the real stories of people. They're stranger than fiction, and I love the sort of the volume of research that you can do when it's a real person, that you actually have footage of them, and you can I love that kind of course, I'm at the altar of Meryl Streep, but that idea that you can transform yourself. You find those little portals of familiarity with that character, and you just ease into that whole world, and those parts always give me I find it a really good launch into something that's far from me. And I think it was, it was playing all those women, and I've said this before, that have, I wasn't really a courageous woman, but I played courageous women, and it helped me understand how to find my own voice was through these women who had found theirs.
Wow. And speaking of your voice, you have stepped up for ACTRA, and you have run for council and been elected to council, and run for executive and becoming an executive at council. And you're famous for saying to be an actor is to be an activist. What does that mean?
I think that in any culture, to be an artist is to be an activist. I think that especially, and at the time when I returned to Canada and was going to work here, they had passed the disastrous 1999 CRTC regulation that Canadian content did not have to be shown in the evenings. It could be fulfilled. The content requirements could be fulfilled by, lifestyle programming during the day. So they could spend 10 cents on a cooking show that, and hire no actors and use no one. And so we went from having 12 one-hour shows to having none. And I think everybody in the industry, I was here at a real watershed moment where the industry collapsed, basically. And the idea that you realized that the government at that point felt they had no interest at all in supporting a cultural voice in this country, that they were out of the cultural business, that we could be a branch plant for U.S. production. And when I was hit with this realization that we would no longer have the kind of stories that we as Canadians could tell each other and see ourselves in, that it was a call to action. And I must say I was invited by Paul Gross, who was going up to Parliament Hill with Rick Mercer and Sonia Smits, that I became involved in speaking out for the cultural industries in Canada. I became involved with ACTRA, which I really found to be a tremendous place to find like-minded people who all were concerned and all wanted to step up and step forward into the role of being the squeaky wheel that wants to get out there and tell the government that this is important and this is necessary. And
these decisions have long-term effects. I read in a playback today that Canadian content exports better than it is at home.
Yeah, well, I mean,
studies show.
Yeah, I believe
that our homegrown shows are more watched outside of our country because we have had since 1999 a situation where we haven't been able to see our own homegrown stuff.
Yeah.
In the numbers that need to be.
Yeah.
To create a culture, right?
Absolutely.
So it has ramifications long term. People don't think about that. It's scary. So now you're an activist. But you're still an actor, and you're still working very hard. So I want to know, this is Jean's thing. She likes to ask our guests, what's in your kit when you go on set? What do you bring to the trailer?
Yeah.
Do you have stuff
That's
that you
a
bring?
very important, you bet I do.
Okay,
I have two big bags that come with me to every show because you realize in your lovely little room that you have that you are so grateful for, that little respite place where you can gather your thoughts, is I need food, first of all, that I can eat, that I'm not, so I have to bring food and my little plate and knife and fork and everything. I have to bring a blanket and my pillow because I have to sleep at lunchtime or I cannot make it through the rest of that day. I have to have all my foundation garments.
Oh, your foundation garments.
Which are just ones exactly for me. Hair. I have to bring my hair pieces.
What?
I always have to have your clip-in pieces so that hair has something in case there's nothing there to work with. I bring makeup in case there's something happens
There's
and
some
you
kind
don't
of nuclear
have
holocaust where
in case they don't have what you like or need.
How often do you think that? How often does it happen that they don't have the right hair pieces or makeup?
I've used my hair pieces countless times on shows, countless times, because they're nice, they're made for me, they fit. The hair person goes, "Oh, great, okay."
And you know you're going to look great.
I have to look, I want to look good. You've got your contact lenses and a mirror and, all the
and
sort
a butler.
of and a butler. Wouldn't that be nice?
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, I have like tons of stuff that I bring.
Definite. And do you keep them in at weight?
Yeah, I have a set bag that's sort of because there's like the blanket and the pillow that I take to set are just for set. The plate and cup and all my stuff is just for set. So
amazing.
Yeah, the binder that I use to keep all my stuff in, just for set.
This is a real pro.
Well,
you could market that kit.
You learn. You learn that those are the things that you need because you can't be asking. Everybody is so busy on set. You can't be like, excuse me, I just want some tuna, but nothing on it, no mayo, and some crackers, but nothing with wheat. So is it like, you can't be doing that. You have to just have your own stuff.
Well, you know what, young lady? You are your own stuff. You are amazing. You're a Canadian star. And,
David
you make us all
Gale.
look better.
Oh, that's very sweet.
So lovely having you in the spotlight.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Thank you, honey. Well, that's it for today. ACTRA Spotlight is produced by Cass Enright and recorded in ACTRA Toronto's very own Gordon Pinson studio. If you like this podcast, please rate it and share it. You can find it and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Keep watching Canadian. Catch you next time.